5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to first say how much I appreciate the work, the good work of the working group on AI in this Congress. And it's important work because AI and related technological progress in financial products hold a lot of promise for innovation. A responsible approach to developments in financial technology is to strike the right balance between innovation and regulation to ensure that AI generates net benefits and enhances the well-being of Americans. We must recognize that government regulators already have regulations, rules, guidance, and laws in place that put restrictions on uses of technologies by financial institutions. Congress and any future administration must be exact and definitive in identifying AI use cases for which those tools are thought to be somehow insufficient. And Congress should not defer solely to often opaque regulatory agencies to effectively legislate through regulation on AI and related technological innovations. We should instead rely on, we should not rely on simple fears and speculation on potential adversities of innovation. As well, I believe that as regulatory agencies themselves adopt AI or utilize their own regulatory algorithmic black boxes, they must adhere to the same principles and regulatory treatment that they require of the private sector. Mr. Zecca, let me ask you a question first. Do you agree that federal regulators of financial institutions, including the Fed, FDIC, and OCC, already have regulations, rules, guidance, and laws that place restrictions on use of technologies, including AI, generative AI, and the like, by financial institutions and third-party vendors with whom they contract?
Well, thank you for the question. Yes, it is one of the most heavily regulated industries in the world.
And one of the pieces of feedback that I'm getting, especially from smaller community banks and community financial institutions, is that when they rely on a third-party vendor that provides AI services, they're concerned that regulators would hold them accountable for the artificial intelligence and the algorithms developed by these third-party vendors. Should the law provide a safe harbor for especially small community financial institutions and allocate the liability properly?
Well, I think it's an important question. I would look at it from the perspective, I think any organization is going to want to know what's going on, so there's going to be a natural interest for the organization to understand what's happening. At what point does liability come in? I think that's a point for discussion. We are a vendor to a lot of community banks, and we work collaboratively with them to ensure that we're meeting their needs and that they understand the processes that we're using.
Well, let's direct that question to Ms. Osborne. What's your view on the liability that could attach to a credit union, for example, when using a third-party vendor?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Congressman Barr. From my perspective, an AI third-party provider is a technology provider. And so the same rules apply for all. I do not see a benefit of assigning liability for specific AI, where if we think of the flip side, the argument that we've been making is that AI is a technology provider, so we should, with technology agnostic regulation, treat them equally. From our perspective, AI providers, we do treat more as a critical vendor, so they're vetted more thoroughly. So if that vetting and review is done properly, we should have awareness of technology providers that may not be meeting the needs of the industry.
For any of our witnesses, final question, for any of our witnesses, can anyone comment on the activities at the CFPB? These days, the Bureau has shown itself to be more inclined to move the market by intimidation and supposition rather than by evidence and administrative procedure. And industry players responsible for developing the innovative AI solutions that can create beneficial change for consumers need an informed regulator that establishes and maintains reliable, consistent rules of the road. Are you all observing overreach by the Bureau and fear of speculative regulatory actions that would stifle innovation? Anyone worried about CFPB stifling innovation in artificial intelligence? No? Maybe? Okay. Crickets. Okay, well, the reason why I asked that question, my time's expired, we have heard from some fintechs that this is actually going to hamper bank fintech partnerships. With that, I yield back.